Okay, we're back for another episode of NBA 2K14. And you see the last episode earlier, the LA Clippers crushed the Sacramento Kings by 26 points, 115 to 89 for the LA Clippers. Baron Davis 22, Blake Griffin 18, DeAndre Jordan 16, Eric Gordon 11, Chris Kaman 10, Randy Foy 8, along with Butler 7 points for Bledsoe and the rest of the LA Clippers. Other side for the Sacramento Kings. Bennett Udry 26, Tyreek Evans 19, Carl Landry 12, Samuel Dalembert and Omer Casper share with 10 and the rest of the Sacramento Kings, but the Marcus Cousins only have 4 points. So a huge dominant win for the Lob City Clippers. They will take it, will pick up a 5th win in the season over the Kings. Alright, so coming up next, second game here in the Phillips Arena in Atlanta featuring the Eastern Conference matchups. It's John Wall and Glibber Arenas of the Washington Wizards. They on Josh Smith and Joe Jones of the Atlanta Hawks to wrap up here in the Thanksgiving weekend. So time to take care of business and we're going to send Kevin Harlan here in Phillips Arena in Atlanta. So get ready for the tip-off here in Phillips Arena. The Wizards take on the Hawks. It's time to take care and enjoy. We're going to send Kevin Harlan here in Atlanta. Washington, Atlanta starts now. Enjoy.
Thursday night at the NBA, 6'11" with little man skills, Andre Blanche and the Washington Wizards go up against the Atlanta Hawks and their steady floor leader who can singe the net, Mike Bibby. Washington, Atlanta, up next.
The Hawks and their leader in the paint, Al Horford, arriving earlier today. It's the NBA on Turkey Day. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone, with Clark Kellogg, Kevin Harlan. Glad to celebrate this holiday with you and your family. The Wizards here looking to pick up one game on the road before returning back to Washington. These guys off to a great start, Clark. 4-1 right now.
You know, they've not had any trouble with this team so far. They're undefeated against them in their prior meetings, so you would think that they've got tremendous confidence when they face them.
So look at the starters for the Wizards. Watson McGee up front. Wall out there with Arenas and Howard. And for the Hawks, Smith and Horford at the 4 and the 5. Vivian Johnson in the backcourt and Williams. You know, to get an idea of how tough the Southeast was last season, you don't have to look further than Atlanta, who gets the number 3 seed in the conference. But Clark, shockingly, only goes 500 in their division.
Well, you look at who was in that division, the Magic, the Heat, the Bobcats, all playoff teams, no picnic when you face any of those 3 teams. So it very well could have been the toughest division in the East.
And let's get this update now from Doris Burke, who's across the way on the sideline.
Guys, I had a chance to talk with head coach Skip Saunders. It's one of the smartest offensive teams in the league that they're facing today, so he wants his guys to play just as smart defensively. We've got to be ready for anything, he said, because there are just so many ways they can beat you.
Thanks, Doris. We'll see what more they can do against these shooters.
Well, I think it comes down to 2 things, trusting the overall defensive strategy and trusting each other.
With the Southeast in mind, and with John Wall now joining the Wizards, Clark, this year, it's only going to get tougher in that Southeast.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I mean, the healthy Arenas, you add John Wall. You put a player like that into any division, his electricity and ability, athleticism, he's going to put a lot more pressure on teams that were at the top in previous seasons. You know, around the country, I think Josh Smith is known more for his dunks. But around the league, and on the stat sheet, I think it's his defense that really separates him and allows him to stand out.
That's a great point. He's perfect from the line this time. Here is Arenas, coming off a stellar performance against Philadelphia. Pass to Howard. The steal. The Hawks with a quick start to this one. It's a 5-point game. Like you look at Josh. Blocks and steal totals you mentioned, and they really do catch your eye.
Kevin, you're right. I mean, usually it's one or the other with most players, but he just piles up both blocks and steals almost nightly. I mean, he's a turnover waiting to happen for opposing teams because of his defensive prowess.
There is Arenas. Mike Bibby picking up that last pass.
Kicked it to the right guy at the right time. That's a good pass.
Here is Bibby, hoping to put that miserable performance behind him that he had against New Jersey. Stripped away. Here's Howard. And yep, that falls, and the foul is called. We'll see him shoot one from the free throw line. And he completes the three-point play. The Wizards had a down year last season, really struggling against the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, but you look at that record, and they weren't awful. I mean, tied for third worst against their conference, but they ended up with the #1 draft pick, so that kind of worked out for them.
No good on the free throw. Thinking about Gilbert Arenas, who said he made a conscious decision prior to last year to avoid the media and let his play do the talking.
Well, Kevin, it didn't quite work out that way now, did it?
Nope,
It was a really hard and difficult lesson for Arenas. I hope he learned it.
But back to Arenas, it's been a tough stretch for him even before the legal troubles. He'd been fighting his way back from a career-threatening injury.
Yeah, and that's always frustrating for a player, especially like Arenas, because quickness and explosiveness is such a huge part of who he is and what he does.
Here's Arenas after Joe Johnson scored. The three in the basket by Arenas. Arenas has got his second basket of the night.
They start off shooting 80% from the field after that last one. That's a great start for them.
Johnson kicks to Williams. Bibby tipped.
The lob was a little misjudged, and he couldn't get control of it.
And two free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there. That's on Marvin Williams.
Good smart foul there to stop the easy dunk.
Some interesting stats start to pop up when you look at the Hawks. They played the fourth slowest pace in the league last year. That kind of surprises me with all their athleticism.
Me too, Kevin. I mean, you would think they would be much more committed to playing at a faster pace, especially since they've got so many guys that would seem to thrive in that kind of offense.
The Hawks are making a switch on the floor. Crawford outside. It's good. The assist this time from Bibby. Crawford's got himself on the board with three there. Arenas against Bibby. Easy shot. A nice shot by Howard. Howard's got his third basket of the night right there. And so here is Atlanta coming off that loss against the Nets.
You know, they just struggle to make shots. And sometimes with teams when they're missing.
Slam dunk. Wow! Now the Sprite Slam Cam for the replay.
Boy, when you run the fast break correctly, it's a thing of beauty.
Here is Bibby. He has 5. From the sideline, let's catch up with Doris Burke.
Well, Kevin, Jamal Crawford had the league's longest stretch of games played without a playoff appearance. He'd never made the playoffs prior to last season. Crawford said, the thing that bothered me most about it was I actually hadn't experienced the big games in front of the crowd like that. I just think on that stage, I'm at my best. Well, he actually struggled in the playoffs last season, but practice makes perfect. Guys?
That's right, Doris. Thanks. Both teams deciding to change it up. A nice shot by Teague.
I tell you what, Kevin, both teams have been on a tear. This could be a very high-scoring game.
Pass to Howard. Covered by Evans. And there's the whistle. Foul hard on the shot. He'll go to the line. It's on Maurice Evans. So how fortunate are the Wizards to have landed the #1 overall pick in the offseason?
Well, they picked a nice year to be lucky in that regard, Kevin. I mean, Wall is just the kind of player that I think can take Washington and the NBA by storm and get this franchise back on track.
Smith's shot is good. Smith's got 6.
Just put the ball in his hands, Kevin, and watch him go to work. He's going to make something good happen.
Outside Arenas. Here's Howard. Hudson coming off an assist from Arenas. He's got 11.
He's a streaky shooter, but when he gets it going, he can put points on the board in a real hurry.
And here's Smith. 14 points from him the last game against the Nets in New Jersey. Evans' shot is good.
That's a good job going right back at him with the 3 of their own.
Outside Arenas. Backing down is Howard. Shoots from the post. And in there for two as he lays it up and in.
This guy is perfect from the field in the quarter. They need to keep finding ways to get him the ball.
Smith outside. Behind the arc.
This is what happens when the defense lags. Wrong guy to give an opening to.
He's got none. Now here's Howard. A foul called, and he earns a trip to the line. Here we are in November, and let's see how things are going out east in the early season. Take a look at the Wizards. They're in the upper part of the conference records right now, win 5th place. And checking out Atlanta, a few slots below them. That free throw missing.
What's really hurt him, Kevin, is the missed free throws. You got to cash in on those free throws.
He hits the second from the line. Now Pachulia. And look down. The first quarter has ended, and both teams have been fighting it out. Hawks ahead, up by 5.
They've had terrific ball movements. They're keeping their heads up and passing up good shots to get great shots.
And we'll be back in just a moment.
The NBA season picks up steam. Dwight Howard and the Orlando Magic take on Gilbert Arenas and the Washington Wizards this Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Don't miss it.
And now the start of the second quarter. And so far, it's been a closely contested game. Here is Heinrich, right now averaging 5 points a game. Look at Joe Johnson, born in Little Rock, Arkansas. Played for the Razorbacks of the University of Arkansas for 2 years. And Clarkie was taken number 10 overall back in 2001.
He was taken by the Celtics and pretty unusual. Traded away halfway through his first season to Phoenix. And it was in Phoenix that he really broke out.
So with Smith sitting on the bench, here's the group that Larry Drew has on the floor. Fabian Johnson in the backcourt. Horford is out there with Josh Powell and Crawford. And Doris Burke has a report for us from the sideline.
Well, Kevin, as you know, Jamal Crawford had a big season last year with the Hawks, and Joe Johnson appreciated the help offensively. Johnson said, guys have to stay home with him, and they don't want to leave him, so it gives me more room to operate. It feels great to have another guy there to make the defense play honest and who can really score the basketball. It takes a ton of pressure off me. Nice tag team for the Hawks, gentlemen.
It is indeed. Thank you, Doris. And you talked about Joe Johnson on that Phoenix team. Wow, you wonder what they could have accomplished if they had paid him the money. And it was a modest increase. And under Mike D'Antoni's system, he was explosive.
Yeah, he really thrived in that system. You're talking about a starting roster with 4 all-star players and 2 potential Hall of Famers. So they really could have been special had they stayed together.
Definitely for the Hawks, Clark. They were one of the best offensive teams in the NBA last season. Not because they shot especially well, but because they got more shots than their opponents.
Quantity over quality was the approach for the Hawks. That extra volume, if you can overwhelm your opponent by rebounding on the offensive end, that can give you an advantage.
So both teams changing it up here. Here's Bibby. He has 5. Jacks up the triple, and that is good. Bibby's got his third basket of the night.
When he gets it going like this, you've got to double team it. That's your only hope.
Here is Hinrich. 6 points for him. Just over 3 minutes left in the second. It's one-on-one.
What a hard-fought game. They're trading baskets, trading elbows, trading attitudes. It's a battle.
Here is Hinrich, averaging 6 points per contest. Here's Blatch, and a great assist by Hinrich as that one goes in. Blatch has got his first basket of the night. Let's go with a three, and there's Joe Johnson, the assist by Bibby. And the Hawks lead by 3. Here is Hinrich. Bibby covering. And a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2. But you look at Blatch, 6'11", skilled. There's no question he's got talent.
Tremendous talent. And really, when Arenas went down, Blatch was able to step in and show that he can carry the load offensively. He's got a nice mid-range shot. He can get to the rim. He's active on the glass. I mean, this is a top-notch power forward in my mind.
Josh Powell is checked in for the Hawks. Teague comes in for Mike Bibby. The Wizards also changing it up. Armstrong's checked in. Horford in the post. He's covered by Armstrong. Horford, good. Here is Hinrich. He has 6. The tray. That's good. Hinrich's got 9 points.
Boy, he's really doing a nice job taking advantage of what the defense is giving.
Pass to Johnson. And that one goes. And even with the contact.
Tremendous output from Johnson. 10 points, and the 3 ball's been there for him, too. He's hit 2 from out there. A terrific offensive combination, setting up teammates and knocking down the deep ball.
Talking about Joe Johnson, a huge guy for a wingman. He's 6'7", 240. But if his frame is a little intimidating on the court, his demeanor is anything but.
Every time I've encountered him, very low-key and soft-spoken, trying to stay away from the center of attention.
Now Teague pulls up, high post, and Atlanta again with the bucket.
You've got to close out on that mid-range jump shot.
Wizards trail by 3. Now Hinrich, he's got 9. Jacks up the triple, and again Washington with the triple.
He's really starting to ramp it up now, getting involved in the offense here after being held without a point in the first.
Here's Teague. He's got 5. Here's Williams. Another 3 for Atlanta.
Well, it looks like we're going to be going back and forth. With these threes all game long. I'm down.
So timeout called here. The first for Washington. This is their second outing of the season against the Hawks.
Probably the major reason for the win last time out against this team. Starters getting in early foul trouble. That's a killer. It affects your rotation and your substitution.
So both teams making some changes here. And let's look now at which teams have been the hottest offensively for the past 10 games. Take a look at the Wizards. 4th in scoring and a fun team to watch.
Well, this is only a trend over a few games out of a very, very long season. But the coach has got to be pleased that his team has been able to score big with some consistency.
And Washington has possession. They trail by 3. Knocks it high. Shots good by Blotch. Blotch has got his second basket of the night. The top guys providing moral support from the sidelines, maybe, but that's not what they're there for.
No, they're not there to be assistant coaches. They're there to be out there producing, putting up numbers. If you put fouls on the key players, all it takes to drastically change the complexion of the game.
Crawford's shot is good.
That's a great pass. Way to get it to the open man.
Here's Arenas. 10 points in the game so far. Watch with it. Over Pachulia. It's blocked.
Here, they'll want to hold for one shot.
Throws it up. Smith.
Those two are in such great... Tremendous symmetry there. The perfect pass and a perfect finish.
It really looked like he read his mind before lobbing that ball up there. Here's Arenas. Nails it from close range. Arenas has got 11 points. Here's Crawford.
Hey, come around.
A 3-ball. Another 3 for Atlanta.
Speed kills after every rebounded bucket. They're pushing it ahead down the floor. They're killing them on the break.
Arenas. The shot is off.
This is one of the key reasons why they're losing. You have to get more production out of your core star players.
The clock runs out, and we're heading to halftime.
Smith playing very well. 13 points, and you can add 1 3-pointer to his stat line also. This is something special. I mean, he hasn't missed a single shot.
2K Sports, back in a moment here at Phillips Arena in Atlanta.
Hello, I'm Damon Bruce. Can I interest you in an extra helping of NBA goodness this Thanksgiving? I knew I could. Good. We got a full plate of basketball here for you on HP at the half. For the Atlanta Hawks, they have the lead against Washington. They haven't set the tone that they were hoping for in the early going this season. Josh Smith is putting on a clinic against Washington. He has 13 points and has found his teammates with a few assists as well. And the Wizards have been plugging away. Some great pressure defense that they're putting on. They've been forcing a lot of turnovers. They've gotten some great minutes out of Josh Howard. He's got 16 points. He's also added a couple steals. A lot of points on the board between these two. They've led the charge in scoring for their teams. And that's it for now. We'll send you back out to the second half. Thanks so much for watching the HP Halftime Report.
And as the quarter begins, both teams have been trading blows like prize fighters. A close ball game. Here is Arenas. He's got 11. So the Wizards 5 right now. Josh Howard and Andre Blotch at the forward shots. Third row and McGee. Now for the Wizards, drafting John Wall was an absolute godsend after the turmoil of the previous year.
I would consider him exactly what the doctor ordered, a dynamic point guard prospect. They had players with offensive talent, but you have to have the ball movement to be effective offensively, and I would think Wall would be a catalyst for that.
And the first one drops.
Kevin, when you think about John Wall, it seems like I'm saying this every year, but here's another explosive point guard. He's got all of that.
He gets him off balance.
Yep.
Here's Johnson. He's got 13. Back to Horford. Hawks turn it over. And here's a sub coming out for the Hawks. They'll be matched up against Memphis. That'll be the first of 2 straight at home. Here's Arenas. Right now averaging 21 points a game. You're talking about those great point guards. You talk about Rose, he was Rookie of the Year with Chicago. Tyreek Evans, Rookie of the Year with Sacramento. And now John Wall.
Kevin, I'd say he's more in the vein of Rose, perhaps. Explosive, more of a creator than Evans. Certainly a vocal leader, and maybe farther along than both in understanding how to be a true point guard.
Oh, well said, Clark. Wizards trail by 6. And here is Howard. He's got 16. It's Tint. Chance now to check out the Washington Wizards' upcoming schedule. They'll be hosting Orlando for the next one. That game is the first and last of their homestand. Atlanta calls timeout. Here's Horford, averaging 10 points per contest. Blocked. The break is up. Here's Howard, and laying it in as that one falls through. Howard's got 18 points in the game. Pass to Horford. McGee's there, shoots it up, and there's Horford. That's good on the assist by Bibby. And the Hawks lead by 6. And it's Washington's ball. 6-point game. They're coming off that win against Philadelphia.
So, Kevin, I think it sort of came down to the fact they did not have to deal with a lot of pressure from the defense they were facing. If they've been up against a good defense, it could have easily been a different story. Kevin, that's the kind of shot you want. You can't ask for better execution on offense, but sometimes they just don't fall.
Watch with it. And it's Horford picking him up. Fires from the high post. Again, the Wizards score.
Boy, these guys just aren't missing. They continue to knock down their shots here to start the third.
Takes it up. It's good. The assist this time from Bibby. Horford's got 8 points.
Nice job to advance the order. Way to get it up court for the open finish.
Outside Arenas. Here's Howard. That's good. It's Arenas with the assist. Howard's got 21.
Right now, he's just too good, Kevin. Way too good. They need to bring a second defender and try to make him give up the ball.
Now Bibby. He's got 10. Outside Williams. Johnson. Out to Smith. The baseline J. Again, the Hawks score. One thing that stands out, the Hawks with the third best offensive efficiency Clark last season in the NBA.
Well, you take a look at their roster, Kevin, top to bottom, everybody is pretty good offensively on that team. A lot of shooters and guys that can finish around the rim as well.
Washington calls timeout. Atlanta making some changes. Reese Evans is checked in for Williams. Crawford comes in for Joe Johnson. And it's Teague in for Mike Bibby. The Wizards also changing it up. Gian Lane comes in for Andre Black. And Nick Young is subbed in for John Wall. Howard, good. On the Hawks offense, when you have that many scores, Clark, on the floor, you'd think you'd be efficient.
Yeah, you should be, but it still takes an orchestrator, somebody that can run the show for them to make it all happen. And if they've got a number of guys that can finish around the rim, Kevin, and that's always lends itself to efficiency.
Jamal Crawford, the 6th man of the year last season. Nice piece of hardware for him in what was a spectacular year.
Yeah, he had perhaps the best season of his career. He improved his shooting percentages, and that was always a problem for him because his shot selection dragged it down. And then he also was on the playoff team for the first time.
And both free throws good for Arenas. The Hawks leading. Following this game, they hit the road. They'll take on the Knicks in New York. That'll be the first half of a 2-game trip. Crawford outside. Another 3 for Atlanta.
He likes to shoot that 3 in transition. A lot of coaches don't like that shot, but if you make it, they'll bite their lip.
He's got 23. Well, a careless foul, and he'll go to the line for 3 free throws.
Kevin, they've been very efficient from the line today. Extremely efficient. Especially here in the second half. I mean, they've not missed one yet. 100% from the line, that's strong.
Good on the second free throw.
Take a look at what Josh Howard's done. 25 points and his 2 steals round out those numbers nicely. You talk about being on, he's been it. Not even one missed shot so far.
Here's Evans. Again, the Hawks score.
The intensity level has really picked up here in the second half.
Wizards trail by 4. Stolen away. It's one-on-one. Here's Crawford. Hangs and hits. Crawford's got 13 points.
What an acrobatic finish. I love the dunk, but you got to give it up for that kind of layup.
Here's Ian. That's in, coming off an assist from Arenas. They close the gap to 4.
Kev, both teams have ramped it up here in the second half.
Here's Teague. Again, the Hawks score. Here is Arenas. He's got 17.
An ideal time to go 2 for 1. Every possession counts.
Goes up. Howard's shot is good. Howard's got 27.
Oh, what a great look to get it inside. That's the way to find him when he's ready to score.
Here's Teague. 7 points in the game. Gilbert Arenas covering. Evans is guarded by Howard. Just 4 to shoot. Here's Horford. Nailed it! With just a little time left on the shot clock. Horford's got 10.
Well, he's really been big for their team, finding a way to consistently get it done on the scoreboard.
Here's Arenas. Again, the Wizards score.
The intensity level has really picked up here in the second half.
Crawford with the ball. 13 points in the game. Smith gets it to go on an assist by Crawford. 19 points for Smith.
That's unselfish team basketball right there, Kevin.
No luck.
He's trying to get it going from outside.
And the third quarter is over, and a good finish looks to be in store for all of us. You look at Josh Smith in this game, I mean, he has been everywhere.
Yeah, it might not look all that imposing on the stat sheet, but if you're paying close attention, you can see the impact he's had on this game. He's going all out.
Hawks lead by 6.
Saturday, November 28th, Kevin Durant and the Oklahoma City Thunder take on Yao Ming and the Houston Rockets. The NBA season pushes on. Be there.
So as we get rolling here in the fourth, let's go to our sideline reporter, Doris Burke, for the Sprite Spark Report. Doris?
Hi, guys. Well, it was the stretch by the Hawks that garners the Sprite Spark today. With their run in the second quarter, they jumped on them early and have continued to hold their ground, guys.
Great, Doris. That big scoring run being a difference maker, Clark, in this game.
Well, it often comes in spurts, Kevin. Spurtability is what I call it, and that's what happened today.
The Hawks leading by 6. So Johnson sitting on the bench. Here's the group that Larry Drew runs on the floor. They've got Pachulia. Maurice Evans is out there with Josh Powell. Then there's Mike Bibby. And Washington has possession. Trailing here by 8. Heinrich kicks to McGee. Over Pachulia. Trains it from 7 feet out. And they cut it to 6.
Explosive offense. These two teams have been going at each other this entire game.
Here's Bibby. In Atlanta again with the bucket. Here's Heinrich. He dumps it off. And here's Blatch. And he lays that one up and in.
That's a good job to recognize the mismatch and then take advantage down low.
Here's Powell. It's good. The assist this time from Bibby.
Great assist on that basket. He's seeing the floor well, and he's making some beautiful passes.
Bibby against Heinrich. From about 19 feet. Again, the Wizards score.
When you get a hot hand like him, it's real simple. You need to keep going with it.
Here's Bibby. In Atlanta again with the bucket.
I actually think he made that shot a little harder than it needed to be, but he showed a nice touch to knock it down.
Time called here. The Wizards decide to talk it over. So both teams changing it up here. Doris Burke has an update for us. Doris?
Hey, Kev. Well, during that last break, I heard Flip Saunders addressing his team. He was clearly fuming. He told them, "You guys look like you're sleepwalking out there." He said, "I don't know if you rolled out of the wrong side of the bed this morning or what, but we've got to step up and wake up. Guys?"
Here's Blatch. Drains it from short range.
Not bad, partner. If he keeps this up and they can get a few stops, they should be able to narrow this margin.
Johnson, good.
His agility and soft touch really paid off there. Not many players could have laid that in.
Heinrich against Bibby. Back to Howard. For three. And a great assist by Howard as that one goes in. Howard's got 30. The Hawks leading by 6. Great anticipation. Now here's Heinrich. Here's Blatch. And foul called as he misses. He'll go to the line and shoot 2.
Take a look at what Andre Blatch has done. He's got 14 points and a steal. What energy he's shown today, whether it's on the offensive end or on deep. This is what they need to do in the second half to come out with the win. It's not the only thing, but when you convert free throws at the other end, you put a lot of pressure on the opponent to play solid defense against.
Johnson, the pass to Pachulia. Takes it up. Kept alive. Here's Powell. And good that time as they score on the second chance points.
That's great hustle there, Kevin. Persistence pays.
Wizards trail by 6.
That's a nice finish in transition, partner. That's exactly how you run the break.
Here is Bibby. And no good. But close in that one, so he'll shoot 2.
First person, teams first. Shooting point blank. Zaza Pachulia.
The first one falls. Josh Smith, he's checked in for the Hawks. The Wizards also changing it up. McGee's checked in, and Gian Lee in for Josh Howard. And that one goes in. 2 from the line that time. Here is Heinrich. 2:10 after the fourth. A watch. Good, and Heinrich gets the assist. Watch has got 20.
Yeah, both teams have ramped it up here in the second half.
Atlanta calls timeout. They're winning by 4. 1:59 left in the game. Al Horford is checked in for Pachulia. Josh Howard is checked in for Washington. Arenas comes in for Kirk Heinrich. A 10-footer, got a hand on it. It stays here. Knocked loose, and the Wizards give up the possession. Arenas with it. Come on! Watch with it. It's good, and Arenas with the assist.
He's had a strong fourth quarter thus far, really providing his team with a lot of offense.
Bibby kicks to Smith over Howard. Smith with the basket on the assist by Bibby. Washington calls timeout. They're down by 4. 1:36 after the fourth. Here is Howard. Off the inbound, and Washington again with the bucket.
He's taken center stage here in the second half. He's been getting bucket after bucket.
And here's Bibby. Johnson outside. From deep. Another 3 for
Kevin, that's just not good defense. You can't be giving players of his talent level looks like that. Come on now.
Here's Blatch. And down home.
A little bit of a statement made there while he hung on the rim.
That's one way to make sure the whole building knows exactly what you just did. Arenas knocks it away. Here's Arenas. 1:04 left in the game. Smith against Watch. Smith gets a hand at it. Here's Horford. The break is on. It's dumped off. Bibby from deep hits the bucket.
With smart play the rest of the way, they should be able to win this.
Here's Watch. Here's Howard. That's in, coming off an assist from Arenas. Howard's got 34 points.
No wasted opportunities for him. He's been as efficient as a heat.
And so they will intentionally foul him. The Hawks with an excellent chance to put the nail in the coffin. Now Johnson. Johnson draws the double. On the mark. Here's Arenas. This one seems all but over at this point.
Yeah, Kevin, it's going to take a miracle now for them to win this game. Amazing body control. Could not and would not be detained.
Nice job at the line. That one falls to pick up the and one. Here's Bibby. Got a piece of it. It stays here. Time call here. The Hawks decide to talk it over. They're in front by 5. 17 seconds left to the fourth. Atlanta with the ball. Their biggest lead of the game was not. And there's the intentional foul.
Well, they had the foul, but he's not the guy you want at the line. He's just about automatic from the charity stripe.
2 for 2, and it's a 7-point ball game.
Clutch free throws there. He drained them all to raise the lead.
Washington calls timeout. They're behind by 7. 16 seconds left in the game. Here's Watch. Back to Arenas. And again, Washington with the triple.
Arenas.
Here's Johnson. Deflected.
He tried to air it out. Bad pass there.
Jacks up a 3. And again, Washington with the triple.
Kevin, that's what you expect from him. When the pressure's at its highest, with the game on the line, that's when he's at his best.
And there's the foul to stop the clock.
That's the right move. Stop the clock. I hope they make a mistake you can take advantage of.
Sinks the first one, and that'll put him up by 2. Gets them both, and it's a 3-point ball game.
Taking full advantage of the charity stripe here. Stretching that margin to 3.
Put it down!
It accounts.
What a shot!
What a shot from extra long range. You gotta be kidding me. Talk about going to OT with momentum.
Time expires, and we're going to overtime.
Smith playing very well. 25 points and a pair of blocks to go along with those. His success in the assist department is carried over to the free throw line.
2K Sports, back in a moment here at Phillips Arena in Atlanta. Overtime just ahead. Jump ball right around the corner. The Wizards. Control the tip-off to begin the extra period.
Watch outside! Watch outside! Don't let him shoot down you!
Here's Howard. Hard on the shot. They'll go to the charity strike for 3. That's on Marvin Williams.
That's a bailout with the hack. You have to be careful when you close out on shooters.
Josh Howard at the line.
And he gives them the lead. He gives them the lead.
Well, he got the big one to put them in front, but they could have been feeling a lot better if he got all 3. That was one of those nice little teardrops that looks like it doesn't have a prayer and then softly drops right in.
Here's Wall. Beyond the arc. That's good.
When he gets it going like this, you've got to double team him. That's your only hope.
Time call here. The Hawks decide to talk it over. They trail by 2. 2:28 left in overtime. And making a change here, the Hawks. Evans is checked in. And so here is Atlanta. A 2-point game. Behind the arc. Another 3 for Atlanta.
These teams have gone back and forth all game long.
Here is Arenas. Here's Butch. It's stolen by Smith. Goes up. He jams it in beautifully.
Great D leads to easy offense.
Wizards trail by 3. Arenas kicks over the Butch. Howard with the screen on Smith. Off the pick. Butch slams it in.
How's that? For a little payback. A reminder for him that no good deed goes unpunished.
Well, you know those dunks, they get both teams going. Marvin Williams is checked in for Atlanta. Here's Bibby. Here's Johnson. It's good. The assist was back to Bibby.
He's such a clutch shooter, Kevin. He just lives with a big shot.
Washington calls timeout. They're losing by 3. 1:28 left in overtime. Here is Howard. The inbound pass. And again, Washington with the triple.
Boy, the defense broke down right there. You can't lose track of the three-point shooter.
Bibby with it. Gilbert Arenas covering. Bibby passes it to Horford. Clutch defender. 2 on the clock. 2 on the clock. Again, the Hawks score.
The intensity level has really picked up here in the second half.
Washington trail. Outside Arenas. Here's Howard. And Washington again with the...
Oh, that's much in the clutch. They needed that one, Kev.
Less than 1 minute left. Now, here is Smith. Puts up the tray. Another 3 for Atlanta.
The defense made the mistake of playing offense, and he drained it from deep.
It's stolen by Smith. On the breakaway. Rips down the breakaway shot. Gamble at the end of that one. Time call here. The Wizards decide to talk it over. They're trailing by 5. 23 seconds left in overtime. Mark, what do you think?
Kevin, they need to launch it. Wow. Oh, man, now that's nasty.
Here's Johnson. 20 seconds left in overtime. And so there's the intentional foul. They're still going to foul him for a second time to get into the penalty and send him to the strike. And they can try to eat some time off the clock here. Putting on a show, Clark. Such an impressive move.
Time is getting short now. If they don't get some quick points, it's game over. He just keeps knocking them down from deep. I can relate to that. Some days it seems like you just can't miss.
And so they'll try to extend the game with the intentional foul here.
They needed to take that foul to stop the clock. That clock is not their friend at this stage of the game.
It's a 4-point ball game.
Huge free throws there, Kevin. He just put this game out of reach.
Here's Arenas. Rebound by Smith. Here's Johnson. And so it's the Hawks who come out on top. An impressive victory in overtime after an exciting end in regulation.
You know what? In a long game, fatigue can sometimes affect every aspect of play. They didn't look tired at all to me.
And that about wraps it up for Clark Kellogg and Doris Burke. This is Kevin Harlan thanking you for watching the NBA presented by 2K Sports. And now, Jordan Brand presents our player of the game, Josh Smith.
Wow! Another ending with an overtime as Glover Arenas with a full court shot off the bounce and went in to force overtime, but unable the Wizards could not finish them up with the Hawks as the Hawks won in overtime by 4, 131 to 127. Look it up, they heal. Jared Jack will be healed the Raptors and Wesley Johnson he's healed for now. Alright. Let's check out some upcoming. Let's check out some stats for the Wizards and the Hawks. As for the Hawks, Josh Smith 34 points, Joe Johnson 24, Mike Beebe 21, Jamal Crawford 13, Hal for 12, Mike Evans 8, and the rest of the Atlanta Hawks on the other side for the Washington Wizards. Josh Howard 43, Andre Blush 26, 25 and 13 for Glover Arenas, John Wall 13, Kurt Harry 12, and the rest of the Washington Wizards. Amazing finish here in overtime as the Hawks survives the Wizards by 4. Here's the upcoming schedule. On November 26th, we got our first matchup here, the Rockets and the Bobcats. We got the Cavaliers Magic, the Bulls and the Nuggets. It was the real life where Carmelo Anthony walk-off game winner over the Bulls down to the wire when Carmelo Anthony hit the game-winning shot. Clippers, Suns, Lakers, Jazz, rematch of the Western Conference semis. Hornets, Blazers, and the other, we have the D-League game. Red Close, Armor, Energy, 66ers, Skyforce, Wizards, Legends, Stampede, Jam, and Big Horns. So you got the Raptors, Celtics, Bucks, Pistons, Sixers seed, and we have a Texas rivalry. Could not get the flex, so we got the Mavericks, Spurs, showdown in Southwest. So the rematch of the Western Conference first round, that was an upset win by the Spurs in the first round, 6 over the Mavericks. And the last two, we got the Bayhawks, Mad Ants, and the Flash Thunderbirds. And our matchup with the Thunder, Pacers, and our second game will be the Warriors and the Grizzlies. Okay, so then we'll wrap things up here. Check out some standings. Suppose we could not get the flex in, we keep it. We just skip their standings. Let's check out the Warriors and the Grizzlies there. Okay, so both teams are 7-8. Alright, there's the standings. 3 teams are in right now. The Spurs are 5th, Jazz 6, Jazz 5th, Thunder 6, Suns 7, and both in the 8th seed. So 8th seed is gonna be a great game. So the Mavericks are continue the red hot. So the Rockets are 12-2, and our second will be the Bobcats. So this is gonna be tomorrow night here in Atlanta. It's gonna be a great game. So we're done. The last two will be wrap up for the 2025. So our upload will be the first upload of the year 2026. So that should do it for now. This is Andre Genshin in our first matchup. Tomorrow we're on, what is this? Time Warner Cable Arena in Charlotte. Time Warner Arena, also known as Time Warner Cable Arena in Charlotte, featuring Yao Ming and Luis Scola of the Houston Rockets take on Steven Jackson and Jared Wallace of the Charlotte Bobcats. It's gonna be the Rockets and the Bobcats. It's gonna be a great one. It's gonna be Yao Ming and Kevin Martin of the Houston Rockets take on Steven Jackson, Boris Diaw, and Jared Wallace of the Charlotte Bobcats. And followed by the second game here in Memphis, Tennessee, featuring Stephen Curry and Monte Ellis of the Golden State Warriors take on Mike Conley, Rudy Gay, and Marc Gasol of the Memphis Grizzlies. So that's pretty much it. So that'll do it for now. This is Andre Genshin. What a thrilling finish here in Phillips Arena as the Hawks haul off with the Wizards by 4, 131 to 127. And earlier the NFL game, the Steelers could not clinch the AFC North. They lose to the Browns. Panthers lose to the Seahawks. And the Bills lose to the Eagles. So the Patriots will clinch the AFC East. And the 49ers keep their NFC West champs alive as they defeating the Bears in the thrilling game. So Monday Night Football, we have our Rams and the Falcons. Tomorrow night we have a rebuild. The Week 18 primetime matchups are set. They flex schedule here. We got Bryce Young of the Carolina Panthers take on Baker Mayfield of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for the NFC South Championship. Next, we got Sam Darnold of the Seattle Seahawks take on Brock Purdy of the San Francisco 49ers. It's going to be for the championship in the NFC West and get their first seed to get their home field advantage. And NBC Sunday Night Football, no Lamar Jackson yet. So Derrick Henry of the Baltimore Ravens take on Aaron Rodgers of the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's going to be a winding end of the Week 18 to wrap up the start of 2026. It's gonna be interesting. So time to take care of business and time to say, Andre Kenshin Song, everyone at the Philips Arena in Atlanta. We'll see you tomorrow for the Black Friday matchup, the Rockets and the Bobcats, and the Warriors and the Grizzlies. So time to take care and peace out. Good night and thanks for watching. See ya!